Welcome to True Wellness with Dr. D, the podcast where we explore what it takes to live with vitality, balance, and purpose. I am Dr. D, and each week I'll bring you powerful tools, inspiring stories, and expert insights to help you thrive in every area of your life. From health and wellness to mindset and navigating life's challenges, this podcast is your guide to creating a life of true well-being. Be sure to check the show notes and grab your free copy of the True Wellness Checklist so you can get started on your journey to true wellness right away. Now, let's get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 5 of the Hormone Reset Series, 5 Truths Every Woman Must Know. Today, we've got a lot scheduled. It is our final session, and we are going to talk about your Midlife Power Plan, how to reclaim energy, confidence, and control, you guys. So over the last few weeks, we've talked about, why the system has failed women in midlife. We've talked about the hidden hijackers sabotaging your hormones. We've talked about why solutions backfire. And last week, we talked about how to reset with a body-led approach. So today, we're going to pull it all together into what I call the Midlife Power Plan. Think of this as your blueprint, right? The high-level framework that'll help you see the road ahead. And just like any blueprint, it shows you what's possible. But of course, you're still going to need the right tools and the right guide to bring these things to life. But let's dive in. So let's start with the 3 pillars of the Midlife Power Plan. So I want to break it out into 3 non-negotiables, right? That every midlife woman needs to thrive. So pillar number 1 is that biological rhythm reset. This is paramount, you guys. So morning light anchors your circadian rhythm. Get out first thing in the morning, barefoot on the ground if you can. That way you're getting that grounding in. Look toward the direction of the sun. Obviously, if the sun is in full bright, don't look at the sun, but you can look, close to the side of the sun. If it's that first couple of sunrise moment, you can look at in the direction of the sun specifically. This will help you get your circadian rhythm back into balance. Now, if you can't get outside, at least get to a window and let that light in the eyes. The first light of your day should not be coming from the blue light from your cell phone. It should not be there any time of day, but we know that's not going to happen, and we all use our phones from time and again. Although you can get a blue light protector app that goes on your phone that will help with that blue light. Still shouldn't be using it late at night, though, of course. Now, having a consistent sleep time and wake up time is also really important. That helps you regulate your cortisol and your melatonin. Okay, so get to bed at the same time every night. I know maybe you're binge watching Netflix or some series or something. It's really not worth your health, is it? I don't think so. So turn it off. Get into bed the same time every day, and then wake up the same time every morning. The truth is, you guys, if you've heard our other podcasts, you can't really catch up on sleep per se. So the best thing is to maintain that consistent sleep schedule as often as you possibly can. The other piece that's really important for rhythm is stabilizing your meal times. So your body wants to have trust, okay? It is designed to follow different rhythms. So your meal times should follow those rhythms as well. And the better you get yourself into that mealtime routine, the better off your body thrives. It really does help improve your blood sugar, and it improves your digestion. There was an article in the Sleep Medicine Review that showed that women who have consistent rhythms actually have better metabolic and mood outcomes during perimenopause and menopause. So you guys, this is critical because this is an easy thing that you can begin to implement. It has no cost. It doesn't take any extra time. It just is a matter of you starting to follow in with those rhythms. Now we have pillar number 2, and that is our nutrition, right? Our nutrient and fuel strategy. So what are some of the things that you can do? First off, protein and fiber at every meal. They help to balance your blood sugar, okay? And they give you steady energy. I always say veggies first, get those veggies in. That is your fiber, okay? Then the other piece that's often missing is minerals. You guys, our food system and our food production leaves us with food that is devoid of nutrients, including minerals. And minerals like magnesium, like zinc, even vitamins like B vitamins, they are critical for your hormone pathways. So you guys know I am a strong believer in supplementation when it's necessary and what it is that the body specifically needs. But I will tell you, one of the things across the board that we always recommend for our clients is digestive support and minerals. And I will say all the time, just about, there's also B vitamin support in their protocols. If you're looking for a really reputable, good source, I do recommend Premier Research Labs. And you guys, you do have discounts. So you can use prlabs.com as their website. And if you use Dr. D15, so DRDEE 15 to create your account, if you're not a client of mine, or if you are, whether you create that account or you're a client, just use that Dr. D15. It will also give you 15% off your supplement order at checkout. And the nice thing is, like with that practitioner account, you're already benefiting for better pricing than you would find, for example, on Amazon. Which, guys, don't shop supplements off of Amazon. They're not good for many different reasons, but that's a whole other topic of conversation for another time. Okay, you guys, so protein and fiber at every meal, minerals like magnesium and zinc, vitamins like your B vitamins. And then you guys, hydration is really important and it's often overlooked, but it is essential for your energy and your mood. And not all water is created the same. First off, stop drinking out of plastic bottles. Okay, I know people are like, well, I've got my water bottle and they hold up this plastic bottle. So plastic itself, right, is an endocrine disruptor. It is toxic to our system. It messes with our hormones. So if we're trying to balance hormones, but we're doing things that then throw our hormones off balance, we're not in a good place. So get rid of those plastic water bottles. I personally like to use glass mason jars. They do have them where they're covered in rubber. And then also stainless steel is another great alternative. I'll usually use stainless steel if I'm leaving the house. In the house, it's always the glass mason jar. Now, you want to make sure that you're having real good, high quality water. So I'm not a huge proponent of high pH water because the high pH water is essentially filtered water with minerals added back in. And my question then becomes, well, what kind of minerals are they adding back in? But I do for myself personally, we have a whole house filtration system, and then we have a reverse osmosis on the kitchen sink. Now, reverse osmosis is fantastic for filtration. However, you do need to add minerals back in. So I do use from Premier Research Labs, I use the pH minerals, just a couple of drops into your reverse osmosis water is fantastic for adding back those minerals. The other thing is I will also use the Premier Research Labs pink salt, and I'll sprinkle that into, just a little pinch into the water as well for the electrolytes. Okay. Magnesium, you guys, is one of those really critical things, especially for midlife women. And when our magnesium is deficient, then we end up with fatigue, anxiety, poor sleep, all of these different things. So make sure that you're getting some sort of magnesium in. Many of our clients take the calcium magnesium powder from Premier Research Labs, or the magnesium glycinate is another one that we use a lot for sleep. Okay, so that was pillar number 2. Let's move on to pillar number 3, and that is nervous system safety and mastering your stress. So you guys, if you're always sort of stressed out and your body's always in this state of fight or flight, guess what? We can't regulate. So cortisol regulation, or dysregulation, is the driver of belly fat, brain fog, poor sleep. So bringing your adrenal glands back into balance is really important. And it could be as simple as, focusing on taking a few deep breaths throughout the day when you're feeling yourself getting tense and anxious, right? It could be, again, going back to those rhythms that we said earlier, that also helps bring your body back in. Breath work is really important. Did you guys know that if those of you are looking to lose weight, right, most of your fat loss is actually coming out through your breath? I know you're like, what did you say? We'll have to get into that in another episode. But when you burn fat, where is it literally coming out of? It is literally coming out of your breath. So it comes out of your breath and it comes out of your urine. That's where fat loss takes place. But the majority, you guys, like 85% of your fat loss comes from breathing. So it gives you a little bit more incentive to actually begin to come out of that. When you're stressed, you're not actually getting a lot of oxygen. We have a faster, more shallow breath with stress. But if we can get that deeper breath, get more oxygen into the body, it helps with weight loss. It's an easy one, right? Grounding, doing different, getting grounded connected to the earth is really important. Different somatic exercises, taking mini breaks throughout the day where you're just, again, you're looking away, or you're deep breathing, or you're just really focused on bringing your body into that calm, relaxed state. That is important, again, for regulating your nervous system. You want your body to feel safe. When your body feels safe, then everything comes back into balance. So you want to get your body into that state. It's why you feel so good when you do a meditation and you're oh so nice and calm. The other thing you can do is exercise. And exercise, it really needs to be matched to your state. Okay. So when we are perimenopausal, menopausal, walking can be a great exercise, but strength training is also very important and may actually, it's what we need to help build our bones. In building our bones, so our muscle and our bone help to predict what our longevity will be. So we want to keep building our muscle and bone, especially as we move into menopause, where estrogen was a helper to our bone building. Now we have a little less. We've got to work a little harder to actually maintain that muscle and bone. Now, if you're constantly stressed out all the time, doing some sort of high intensity workout can actually be detrimental. It can do the opposite, right? It can stress your body more, have you gain more weight, add that belly fat because it's increasing that cortisol. So you want to match where your body is. If you're always stressed out, a simple walk and getting in a walk could be the perfect place for you to start. Now, if you are looking to lose weight, I really love the work of Dr. Stacy Sims, and she is a strong proponent of SIT training, which is sprint interval training. And what is that? Well, sprint training or SIT training is really about going full out for maybe like 30 seconds, right? 30 seconds of really intense, exercise. Your heart rate is all up. You're creating some stress in your body, and then you relax. You're in a much more relaxed state for the next like 2 to 3 minutes. So sometimes when I go out and run, I will do a purposeful like 30 to 60 run paces. So that's somewhere around 30 to 60 seconds. And then follow that by a couple minutes of just walking, and then sprint again and walk again. And this can be very effective for fat loss. But, research really shows us that when we're in perimenopause, our bodies respond better to moderate intensity, stress reducing activity rather than that high intensity. So having a steady state high intensity, like going for a 5-mile run, may not be the perfect thing for your body unless you're well conditioned and that's what your body's used to. But this is not the time to begin that kind of activity. Okay. So let's reiterate. So the 3 pillars, number 1 is that biological rhythm reset. Number 2 is focus on your nutrients and your food. And number 3 is reset your nervous system so that it feels safe. Now, where most women get stuck is this, right? Even if you know all these pillars, what happens if you don't know the root cause that are driving your symptoms? That's where women get stuck. So we can do all these things, but if we don't really understand what's the underlying root cause, where is our body struggling, then we end up sort of missing the boat. Or sometimes women change too much at once and then burn themselves out. So here you are, you're trying to do really good things, but you're pushing so hard and feeling like this is what I call like the diet syndrome. How many of you, I think everyone's done it. You've like white knuckled your way through a diet. You've hit a specific goal or a specific event, and then it all kind of falls apart because you got burnt out. So take those small baby steps to begin integrating these different things into your lives. The other thing is a lot of people they'll misstep the sequences. Okay. So your body has to do things in a specific order. So for example, if you're constipated and you go on a big detoxification protocol, well, what happens is you end up retoxifying because your body doesn't have the proper way to actually release the toxins. Now we end up with some issues, or we're not doing lymphatic drainage while we're detoxifying, or maybe we're not sleeping and then we're getting up at 5 a.m. to do some high intensity workout. Well, again, if we're not following the sequences of what our body needs, we don't get the results. And then the other part is, as human beings, sometimes we can't see the blind spots. If you take your head and you wave your head behind your hand, you can't see that you're waving your head behind your hand until you bring your hand waving to the forefront in front of you. Now you can see it. And now you could do something about it. So a lot of times I find that women end up cycling through the same frustrations. And I mean, it's not your fault. This is where DIY usually fails. So a lot of people can get to a certain place with a DIY, but without being able to see those blind spots, they don't 100% get to where it is that they're looking to be. So it's really important to make sure that you've got, people around you and you're surrounded by people who can help you see the things that you might not be seeing. I mean, that's why I have coaches in my life, business coaches, performance coaches, speaking coaches. That's an important structure to have in order to be really successful. So what can this midlife power plan actually look like? Let's give you some examples, right? So first is like an energy reset. Think about swapping a carbohydrate heavy breakfast for more protein and fat in the morning. Maybe you take a 10-minute walk after lunch. Maybe you replace your afternoon caffeine with some minerals in your water and some electrolytes. And maybe at night to wind down, you practice your breath work. Okay, maybe you do it in for 4, hold for 7, out for 8. In for 4, hold for 7, out for 8. So just these little basic things will give you an energy reset. Let's say you're in the space where you're not sleeping at night. So maybe the reason why you don't have energy is because you're not sleeping. So then your midlife power plan might be something like getting 10 minutes of morning sunlight. So having 10 minutes out in the sun before you ever touch an electronic device in the morning makes a big difference. Might be not having any caffeine after 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It might be, instead of scrolling at night before you go to bed, maybe it's doing some breathing and some stretching. Okay. Or maybe it's using, some melatonin with maybe some magnesium glycinate before you go to bed. And you guys, you can get amazing melatonin and amazing magnesium glycinate from prlabs.com. Again, use Dr. D15 to create your account and then Dr. D15 at checkout to get 15% off your account. Okay, so that's melatonin and magnesium glycinate. These things are simple, right? But I know the key is knowing which lever matters most for you right now. So one woman might need to make sure she gets to sleep first. Another may need to make sure she's balancing her sugar first. Another may need to release trauma and do nervous system work before anything else will actually stick. And that's the difference between knowing a blueprint and then actually having a personalized plan. So I want to share with you, I'm thinking about one of our clients in our practice. Her name is Angela, and she was 49 years old. And she came to me after trying keto, after trying fasting. She had done like multiple different detoxes, and she knew all about protein. She knew all about blood sugar. She knew all about, the sleep hygiene, all of it. But her issue was the sequence. You see, she was detoxing while she was constipated. She was fasting with cortisol, right? Dysregulated. And she was overtraining while she was underfueled. So once we actually identified the order her body needed, sleep first, then blood sugar stability, then gentle detox support, her symptoms, they actually started to shift because you've got to go in alignment with what your body needs. In fact, within 8 weeks, she went from waking up 4 times at night to sleeping through the entire night. She lost 8 pounds of inflammation, and she finally had her energy back for, so she could be productive at work again. You see, she didn't need more information. She really needed interpretation and personalization. So you've got to be really careful. I know you guys, you're here listening to a podcast. That means you're collecting all this information, but interpretation and personalization are really important. So let's kind of sum this up. Here's what I want you to take away from this series, because it is our last episode of the series. So number one, your symptoms are not random. They're actually messages, okay? Number two, your hormones are not broken. They're actually responding, right? They're responding in the way that they were designed to respond. So if things are off, they're going to respond in a way that feels off. Number three, quick fixes don't work because they don't get to the underlying root cause. They don't address the rhythms of the body. Okay. And of course, number four, you guys, healing is possible when you learn to lead with your body, not fight it. So today, I know I gave you some broad strokes of our midlife power plan, but here's the honest truth, right? These are specifics. They're DIYs. Okay. The specifics are not DIY. You deserve someone to help you connect the dots, to read the signals, to guide you step by step. So be sure that you're making sure you're getting the support that you need. And truth is, you guys, this isn't the end. It's just the beginning of the most powerful chapter in your life. So you guys be sure to share and like our podcast. And of course, if you're needing that support, message me, send us an email, Danielle@southbaywellness.com. We'll get you the support that you need. All right, everyone. I look forward to seeing you on our next episode. This is Dr. D reminding you to tune into your body, connect with what matters, and embrace the journey to true wellness. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who's ready to redefine their health. Be sure to grab a copy of the True Wellness Checklist right in the show notes. Let's keep redefining wellness and empowering change together. See you for the next episode.